Welcome back. Well, there's comps, there's MLS, contingencies. This is the real estate jargon that could throw buyers for like, wait, what did you just say?
Yeah, exactly. Maureen Bartelt, a real estate agent at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties, is here to dish out the 10 terms millennials, or really at any age, you should know before you think about buying your first home. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Okay, so where do we start? Because your head can start turning when you don't really understand all of these terms. What should people know when they're going to be buying a home?
Well, first, I think number one, pre-approval. A pre-approval is done by your lender, and it's a verification of your information to help determine how much money they're willing to borrow you for buying a home, and that is step number one in the home search process. Next would be your debt to income ratio, and that's the money you owe against the money you make. That ratio needs to be within a certain range in order for a lender to even approve you for a mortgage. You guys, I'm just losing it here. Another would be an offer. So an offer or a purchase agreement is a legal document, and it's given to the seller by the buyer, and that's going to tell, you know, how much you're willing to pay, how you're going to do so what kind of financing you're using, and then other specifics of that process.
We mentioned the MLS as well at the top. What is that?
Multiple listing service. So that's the service that the Fargo-Moorhead Area Association of Realtors uses to list your home. Another important one that I didn't mention would be a CMA, or a comparative market analysis, and that's something I'm going to do for you to help determine that the home you're interested in buying was priced appropriately in the first place.
Can they reach out to you even before they get the pre-approval, or I mean, is that a process? Do your pre-approval before you call?
They can absolutely reach out to us, but before we show homes, we want that pre-approval letter, because if you're approved for a $130,000 home, we don't want to show you a $400,000 home. I mean, that's not good for anybody. So that pre-approval is a number one.
And you talked about closing and offers. Do things kind of switch directions with the confusing jargon at that point too?
Yes, so step number two would be you find your home you want. So you've put in that offer, the seller accepts it, and at that point, you're under contract. So under contract means they've accepted your offer, but the home is not ready to close yet. So there are still outlying items that need to be addressed before you can close. Those items would be contingencies. So if you've ever gone to purchase a new home and you're already a homeowner, you've got to sell that other home before you can move on to the next one. Another would be a home inspection. So your lender is also going to require an appraisal. They want to ensure that the money that they're borrowing you for the home is appropriate for the value of the home. And then finally would be a co-purchaser. That's something that millennials in particular might run into, and it happens when the buyer does not maybe have a ton of credit history, or maybe for financial reasons, and thank mom and dad. It brings in another income stream to help cover that mortgage should it be necessary.
Oh, that's nice. Anything else you want to add?
Well, finally, closing costs. So when you're purchasing a home, the down payment is not the only expense that you're going to incur. You're also going to have closing costs. Closing costs are going to include the appraisal, your lender fees, and title insurance. Some other items as well, but those are some of the big ones. Title insurance is going to be protection for the buyer should there be any issues on the previous history of that home related to the title.
It's great to have someone else on your team helping you, because you know, we throw out a lot of things, and you're like, well, this is what it is, and you say it very calmly. So how do people get a hold of you so they can work with you?
Yeah, so they can reach me by email, mb@bhhspreproperties.com, or by phone at 701-388-7738.
You can help, and so can mom and dad too. All right, stay with us. Coming up next, your daily dose of motivation.